Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a C.A.T.S, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Hello, cats. I'm Kristen. I'm here today with Melanie Hughes. Hi, Melanie.
Hello, Kristen. Great to meet you.
So I understand that you are sailing around the Caribbean and this is your life. How exciting is that?
It's fantastic. I never realized that I could have a business that is really fun to run and have the life of my dreams while I'm doing it.
How did you get started? I mean, living on a catamaran, that's not something that many of us even have an idea of how to figure it out.
Well, we started off with a small sailboat 10 years ago. We fell in love with sailing and I wanted to figure out how could I do this more often and have a better balance of doing the things I enjoy. And slowly we bought bigger boats, tried them out. And when I retired from my full-time corporate job, I decided to set up a business as a coach consultant and run that from on board and have built my life around figuring out how to make that work.
So what is one of the key things that we need to understand? Because a lot of us who are watching the Big Meow, we are coaches, authors, thought leaders, we're entrepreneurs. We do live the laptop lifestyle, but we're still kind of tied to our desk or to our JOB, only this time it's our clients. So what's the mindset shift that needs to happen?
The mindset shift is you can make it work if you try hard enough. And you find workarounds for things. So one of the things that I think has been truly life-changing for me on this journey has been Starlink, which is satellite internet that is mobile. So I've been taking Zoom calls and doing coaching while sailing 100 miles offshore.
Wow.
And on occasion we get bumps from the waves, and the clients kind of like it, I think, because they think it's fun. But sometimes I don't even let on that I'm in a boat, and you wouldn't really know because I have this backdrop, and so it's actually it's been continually problem solving to make this work.
It's funny. I love that idea of Starlink. I mean, I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I have internet problems. So it's not just on a boat, it's a lot of different places have internet issues. So I love that idea. What about, just giving yourself permission to do something that's different or outside of the box?
That's a great question, Kristen. I believe that you can do anything that you set your mind to. And if you have a dream out there, there's probably a way to reach it. You just have to be a bit creative and not feel that you've got to be bounded by these boxes that we tend to think of when we think about work. And so it's really a mindset shift from this is the way work is supposed to happen, and I'll find my way within this box, to what happens if we knock the walls of that box down and and look beyond it. And how might we go about doing that? And it's been so rewarding and such fun to do. I have to say, it's been great.
So where are you? Is it moored? Where are you moored right now?
Right now, we're off the coast of Grenada, which is in the Southern Caribbean. We're here for hurricane season, so I'll be here for a few months, and then I'll be going on the road to visit family in Panama and the UK, and back up to New York.
So I have been there. It's absolutely gorgeous. I guess it's out of the path of hurricanes.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Grenada is absolutely spectacular. One of the most beautiful islands. This is a plug for Grenada. The tourist office can pay me later. Yeah.
So do you just have like, you're kind of offshore? Do you have like a buoy, or, I mean, how does that work? And then do you have to take a little boat to go into town? I mean, I'm very curious about this.
Well, normally that would be the case, but 10 weeks ago, I fractured my spine, which was a real challenge to overcome, especially living on a boat. and I still managed to keep my business going whilst lying flat on my back and trying not to kind of be buffeted around too much. So right now we're at a dock because I can't go back and forth in the dinghy. But another few weeks and I'll be kind of back to full fitness.
Melanie, you are made of tough stuff. I can tell. I have an intuitive feeling about you. So what is your favorite island around there? Where's your favorite spot?
Well, I do love Grenada. I also love St. Martin because the food is phenomenal. And but Grenada has a special place in my heart for the people. The culture here is warm. People are welcoming. It's, they find ways to get things done. And that to me is fantastic in a culture, whether it be in a country or whether it be in a workplace.
I definitely agree with that. So what's something, well, obviously you just had a challenge that happened in your life with fracturing your spine, and how did you overcome it? Or do you want to share something else?
Oh no, I'll share that one. It's very recent and fairly dramatic. Firstly, I have the most wonderful partner in life. And, when you've got wonderful support, you can do anything. That's, I think, one of the first things in life. Secondly, my clients were incredibly understanding. There were a couple of weeks where I couldn't do much, but then I did calls lying flat on my back for weeks. And, they were happy with me not being on Zoom because they didn't want to be looking at me prone. Yeah, exactly. Yes, the view wasn't so great. And so they were happy to do calls. And, and I did refer some clients to other colleagues of mine. And there's something about that too, which is knowing when you can't do something, when it's enough. And then using that to help others out, somebody who may really want the work. So it served a lot of purposes. It kind of makes you a little bit humble about your existence here, and how precious health is. Made me appreciate my partner and everything he does for me, and manage, and actually thankful for my clients that were so flexible and wanted to continue working with me throughout this challenge.
I think that's such an important point, is about relationships. I think a lot of us entrepreneurs, we feel like, oh, we have to go it alone. We have to be a lone wolf. We're figuring everything out. And the reality is we're so interdependent on each other. And that when we have a network of strong relationships, whether it's relationships with our partner, relationships with our clients, then we're able to have a lot of flexibility and support, and really even a lot of love in our businesses. And I really think that this kind of maybe showed you how much love and support surrounds you.
That's a great point, Kristen.
You are listening to the Big Meow podcast, empowering women entrepreneurs to share their voices, make an impact, and transform the world in a positive way. Sponsored by Orange Cat Content Marketing Agency.
When people ask me what advice do I have for other female entrepreneurs, I say be helpable. Because if you look at who's successful in life, they've all had help. They might look like these people who are super women, but they're not. And we all need help at some point in our existence. So look around for those that you can help you. Be helpable, because I find also people want to help. They like to contribute to other people's success, or at least the good people do, the people we want to have relationships with. And so that's my big piece of advice. Don't go it alone.
I love that. Be helpable. It's interesting. I was a single mom for a while, and then I met my husband. We met on an online dating platform, but it's been about 15 years ago. And I had 3 young kids, and he really stepped in and helped me raise my kids. He just jumped in as if he was their dad. He makes dinner every night. I'm not as good in the kitchen as he is. So it's he does so many different things for me. I know I would not be able to be the level of coach or run the business that I operate or any of those things if I didn't have someone who was here really providing such huge support, not just for me personally, but for our entire family. So I so agree with that whole thing of having a network, being a team, being helpable. I love that.
Mm.
So what's next for you?
Well, I'm continuing to grow my business. It's only 18 months old, and I'm enjoying it enormously. I think we are planning, though, to sail across the Atlantic to the Mediterranean in May of next year. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can keep everything going while we sail across an ocean. So
Very brave. You're so brave.
But you know, life has got to be about adventure and challenges, and you have to keep challenging yourself and doing new things and learning and growing. Otherwise, we stagnate. So, you know, for me, I'm always looking for the next challenge out there that will keep me, you know, my brain active, keep me moving forward. Because without that, I think we just, you know, we tend to just sit back and, you know, what are we going to achieve in life when we do that?
So I'm so curious, like, how long does it take to sail from the islands to the Mediterranean?
It depends how many stops you make, because we're going to stop in Bermuda and in the Azores. But the actual sailing time in a sailing catamaran like ours, which is reasonably high performance, will probably be about 2.5 weeks.
Wow. So 2.5 weeks. So to go from Bermuda to the Azores is about,
well, that would be
10
about 9-10 days. Yes.
Have you ever taken a journey that long before?
No.
Do you go by yourself? Does someone go with you? I'm very fascinated by this because, you know,
So my husband and I are both qualified captains. We got our licenses last year, and we'll get a couple of crew. And because the challenge, Kristen, is the watchers. I mean, so somebody always has to be, you know, up at the helm, or at least, you know, watching out to make sure there's nothing in the water that you're going to hit. And so we'll get a couple of other people to do watches for us, so that we can at least get, you know, a few hours sleep every night. Otherwise, it's exhausting.
yeah. So then how long will you stay in the Mediterranean? I love the Mediterranean. I just got back from Croatia. So
lovely. I don't know. You know, how, not really sure. I mean, we did have a dream of sailing around the world. You know, we'll see how that goes. But the Mediterranean's the first step.
So what's the most incredible thing that you've seen or that's happened to you while you've been out sailing?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think the stingrays and turtles that, you know, are just really beautiful. They swim, some of them are, even though they're wild animals, will be tame enough to come and swim around you. And with one turtle called Feisty, that swam up to us as we were in one of the islands. We had some conch that we were playing with, and my husband and nephew, you know, they bit a couple of the mouthfuls of conch off. But when it came to me and I tried to feed him, he realized that I wasn't as big as them. He swam away with me. So I was towed by a turtle, which
who needs a dog, right? You've got sea turtles as your
exactly. So I swam being towed by a turtle. So I think that has to be my favorite story.
So what's your philosophy, Melanie? I mean, what kind of keeps you on track and keeps you going?
Work hard and play well. And work hard is about this idea of challenging yourself, being the best you can be at work, discretionary effort. But playing well, it's not about playing hard and partying, although that can be fun. But playing well is about playing well in the sandbox with others, being a good colleague, being a good neighbor, you know, paying it forward, doing good things for other people, because that pays back in spades. And that helps to build a fantastic community around you.
Oh, I just so agree with that. And just before we go, you know, you have the courage, you have the creativity, you've taken these big leaps. You are a true explorer. For all of us female entrepreneurs who dream about doing something like this, but that we're not quite sure how to start it. Like, what are the first couple of steps to begin to really live like this much bolder life?
Firstly, you've got to have the dream. What is it you want to do? And when you've got that dream, who can you talk to about it? Find those people around you and be helpable.
I love it.
Have people help you get there.
So where can we find you other than in the middle of the ocean?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on my website, Melanie-Hughes. I'd love to chat with you. You can get some Calendly time if you go to my website. Love meeting new people, figuring out how I can be helpful.
Melanie, thank you so much for being on the Big Meow. Just definitely inspiring.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It was lovely chatting with you.
Are you looking for authentic connections, business mentorship, and a supportive community? Join C.A.T.S Network. Thank you for listening to the Big Meow podcast. Please subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with your community.